Auschwitz camp is the site of one of the greatest mass murders in history, somewhere that is guaranteed to have an effect on you. You can walk through the camp's rows of brick huts, each of which have a different function. There's Hut 20 and the so-called hospital, which was more of a lab where doctors like Dr. Mengele used prisoners as guinea pigs as they experimented with different ways of killing them more efficiently. There's Hut 11, the prison within a prison, where guards would come up with new and horrific ways to torture the prisoners who dared to rebel, by starvation, sterilisation, suffocation, infecting them with disease, or being forced to stand in a tiny 1 metre squared cell for days on end. But the most heartbreaking of all is when you come across the piles of people's belongings, the huge stacks of suitcases, cups and bowls that people brought with them when they thought they were just being sent away to work, with the false promise that someday they will be able to return home. Then there is the eerie pile of glasses and shoes and handicap aids like wooden legs and braces that were stripped from the prisoners moments before being sent to die inside the infamous gas chambers. It really hits you hard when you take a moment to look at each individual item in here and try to imagine how all of these things at some point belong to an innocent human being. Running through the middle of Birkenau site is the railway track. This is where the trains would arrive carrying prisoners from all across Europe. It's where the guards selected who of them would live and who of them would die. Even in January, the cold and damp made it uncomfortable being outside for too long. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to live through a winter here, working 12 hours a day in thin clothes and wooden shoes on minimal food, fighting disease, exhaustion and abuse every day to stay alive. Visiting Birkenau isn't like the museum style of Auschwitz I. You're mostly left on your own with your own thoughts, left to soak it all up and try to make sense of what took place here. A lot of people worry that they get too upset visiting the camps, but I found that I came through it all almost feeling numb, mentally exhausted, like it was too much to take in, too much for me to possibly comprehend. It wasn't until later that day that the emotions and reality really set in.